So Rob, what, you have a strong Navy background, you're an executive officer, you had command, you had all that, but what made you want to change your life perspective after you served in the Navy so long?
Well, I'm putting together two of my other passions. I got to follow my passion to serve my country and to fly jets off aircraft carriers, and well, all good things must come to an end. So now I get to do things I love. I love to code and I love playing video games. And now I get to put the two together, having fun, making fun for others.
So where did you come up to the realization that that's what you wanted to do while you were still serving the U.S. Navy?
Oh, I knew that's what I wanted to do when I got out from a long time. I went to graduate school, finished up the computer science education that I almost finished while I was at Texas A&M. I got a degree in modeling virtual environments and simulation, and then I was able to get my second degree in computer science. And I knew that this is what I wanted to do someday, eventually.
So the Navy sent you sent you up to Texas A&M with the idea you were taking a year to study all this, with the idea that you would be working on virtual simulation for aviation processes for the Navy.
Actually, I did my undergrad at Texas A&M, and when I came back from my first my junior officer tour in Japan, I went to the Naval Postgraduate School in Monterey, California, and I had something of a scholarship, if you will, to go there. I mean, you're all paid by the Navy. That's your job while you're there to learn.
Right.
And I was very interested in the modeling and simulation curriculum. And then I found out that I could finish the computer science degree that I never finished as an undergrad. I got a degree in aerospace engineering, and I almost finished a second degree in computer science. So I was able to do both, one thesis, only a few extra classes, and now I have two master's degrees in the computer science fields.
So what would you tell someone in the Navy about what would be the right timeline for being successful in a transition journey?
Obviously, the earlier the better. I probably started about 6 months before my actual retirement ceremony, and maybe about 10 months before I was actually out of the Navy. You definitely need to know what you want to do, and if you don't know that, you need to start even sooner, figuring that out, talking to people, networking, particularly with other veterans, and go follow your passion. First and foremost, follow your passion, live your dream. If you don't have a dream, find one. Talk to others, find out what gets you excited, what gets them excited. I mean, if you don't love getting up and going to work every day, then you need to do something else. I love what I do. I probably work more hours than I bill, just because I enjoy the heck out of this. And so,
I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
And so, yeah, starting early, and I really didn't know how this whole networking thing was going to work. How was I going to get in touch with folks in the industry? Who do I get in touch with? And it just kind of dawned on me one day how to do the right searching in LinkedIn to find other veterans. And I also reached out to former students, former Aggies, former students, and I actually had a better response from the veterans. And they pour their heart out to you because they know what you're going through. They've been there, they've done that, and they want to help you. And you've asked for nothing, you've done nothing for them. They're like, let me help you. And now I'm getting, in small parts, the ability to do that for others, just in my short time out. So, get that network going, and the more people you talk to, it just grows exponentially. Eventually, you're going to talk to the right folks. They're going to understand the value that you bring to what it is that their company does. And I don't know much about the entrepreneurial world, but there's lots of resources out there for that as well. If you want to strike out on your own and do your own thing, there's definitely stuff to be had to figure out how to do that. That's really not for me at this time, but it's there.
So let me ask you a question there, my friend. How has the Military Transition Roundtable, being part of that mastermind group, how did that help you with your transition?
it helped me solidify the things that I needed to do, the actions that I needed to take, and made sure, I wrote them down, or, as we talked about an aspect of our transition, got, critical feedback from the other members, you're like, oh, I didn't think about it from that perspective. Let me, reconsider that. Let me go look at that again. And so that was very valuable to hear from others who we're all at different stages, obviously, in our transition journey, but having concrete actions. And, one of them was, hey, I know you're in a fellowship. I was doing a skill bridge program, and the skill bridge folks were telling us, yeah, you ought to interview for other companies. I'm like, I don't know if I really need to do that. And somebody's like, no, go ahead and do that. And I'm glad I did, because I didn't stay on with the company that I did my fellowship with, but I did get a job elsewhere from the job search that I did. And it was all advice from, my fellow roundtable members.
I appreciate that. Is there anything else you'd like to say about what we do at MTR, as far as helping people in transition? What would you tell someone who's heard about us or doesn't know much about us? What would you share with someone?
I think it is very valuable to hear other people's perspectives and where they're at in their journey. And you guys even bring back alumni to talk about where they've been and what they've learned in their time out. And, what would I have done differently, back before I actually transitioned. And just that amount of wisdom that you can impart to other veterans is invaluable. In helping them figure out what they want to do, because it's a struggle. And 27 years in the Navy, I was a commander. You would think, oh yeah, you got it all figured out. No, the journey is about the same for everybody. And unless you're going to turn around and go do the same thing that you were doing in uniform while wearing civilian clothes, it's and if you're going to make such a strong change like I did, you need all the help you can get. You need all that advice. And then, the probing kind of questions that you and Don would ask really allowed us to reflect on what was working, what's not working. Your help with LinkedIn, Don's help with doing stuff like DISC assessment really gets you to think, what can I do differently? How can I be more successful to land a job, that I'm going to be satisfied with? It may not be the job, but you need to get a job on your way to finding the job, that dream job that you've always wanted to have.